Hey, my name is Elle and I've been listed as a Shopify expert since 2013. And in that time, I've built over 175 different Shopify stores and counting for myself and my clients. The last 9 years have just completely flown by, from whenever I was first selling my products at local flea markets to launching my very first Shopify store. Let's just say there's been a lot of mistakes made along the way. And if I was just now starting a Shopify store or e-commerce store in general right now, these are the things that I wish I had known.
First off, you need a traffic strategy because build it and they will come is totally 2000. You need to have a plan in place of exactly who your ideal customer is and how you're going to be getting them to come to your online store. You need to know where they're hanging out online and what kind of messaging is going to resonate with them to get them to come to your store. Because without it, they're just not going to know that you exist. And that's obviously a problem.
You've also got to think about how you can make your product more unique. So if you're selling things like coffee mugs, for example, what makes someone actually want to buy your coffee mug over all the other ones out there in the world? Because let's face it, there's already so many designs out there. So is it the wording that's different, the design itself, or maybe the material, like this one has gold foil in it? What makes yours more unique and stand out in a crowded marketplace? Me personally, I love drinking coffee and I have a full collection of coffee mugs that I love to choose from, fill up with coffee and then leave somewhere around the house and forget that I had made coffee in the first place. Any other parents out here do that, or is it just me? Please tell me it's not just me. So even though I have so many coffee mugs already, I still like purchasing them for myself and giving them as gifts, because they're meaning something to me and they're unique and different from all the other ones that I already have. What can you do differently with your product that stands apart from your competition so that it makes people want to purchase it for themselves or purchase it as a gift? You really want to think about how you can stand out no matter what niche you're in so that you can do things differently and separate yourself from your competition. Now that I've got my coffee, let's talk about something that I actually really hate doing for my business. You ready for it? It's social media. To be completely honest, if I didn't have a business, I wouldn't do social media at all. I'm a pretty private person, but I do have a business. I actually have 2 businesses, and doing social media is an essential part of having an online presence. You need to be showing up consistently online so that people know that you exist, that your products exist, and that you're constantly sharing your news about your products, new offerings, and how you can help your ideal customer. Now, I'm not saying you have to be on social media every single day posting, because that's a lot. But what I would focus on is choosing which platforms that your ideal customer is hanging out online and what platforms you actually want to post on as well. For me, I like YouTube. It works with my personality and my interest in video editing and cinematography. So it's not that hard for me to show up consistently on YouTube. However, Instagram, not so much. I'm just not a fan and it's not really for me. So I'm always behind on posting on Instagram, and that's okay because I'm posting elsewhere online. So the key is to find out not only where your ideal customer is hanging out online, but where you want to be online as well and what kind of content pieces work best for you. Then just think of a consistent posting schedule so that you can show up, 1 time a week, 2 times a week, whatever it is, you just want to be consistent. So create content that you consistently want to create. If you don't like creating the content, well, it's going to be a lot harder to show up online. Let's be real. While we're talking about social media, let's talk about how it can feel like you're constantly on a treadmill, just always trying to put out new content, thinking of new ideas. It can be exhausting. So think about using social media differently to create some evergreen pieces of content for yourself. For example, whenever you post on TikTok or Instagram or Facebook, it's got a shorter shelf life and it'll be seen for a couple days and then poof, it's gone forever. But if you post on different platforms like YouTube or Pinterest, or you do SEO for your site, those are great evergreen sources of traffic that can keep sending you traffic to your store on autopilot for years to come. And that's far better than constantly trying to just put out more content, and more content. Because believe me, that can get exhausting. Oh gosh. Oh no. I hate social media. Whoa, too close, too close. Okay, one of the next big tips is to know exactly who your ideal customer is. And I'm not just talking about the demographics of their age, their gender, where they're located, their education level. Yeah, that can be somewhat helpful, especially when doing like ads targeting if you want to narrow that down. But it's more important to know more about them themselves. What are their dreams, their hopes, their fears? Where are they hanging out online? What kind of music do they like? Are they NSYNC fans, Backstreet Boy fans, or do they have no idea who either of these two quality boy bands from the 90s are? Because that's a little sad. But once you know this information, you can then tie it into your messaging so that you can have your product photos, your website copy, all resonate with them. And you can add in these little snippets throughout. So that way, whenever they come across your brand online or look on your website, they instantly see those images or the website copy and they go, yeah, you know what? That is me. I really could use this product, or oh my gosh, this solves all of my big problems. You want to think through of exactly how you can pivot your copy and your images to speak directly to them. Huh? Did you see what I did there? Friends frame? Friends frame? My sister actually made this. How cool is that? Nextly, you're going to have returns. It's just part of it. I used to take it as something against me personally or my products, but it's not that. It's just part of business. So don't make it about you. Get over it. Yeah, that's not fitting. Let's actually talk about shipping for a second. It can be a huge ongoing expense if you're selling physical products that you actually need to ship out to your customers, especially if you have products that are different sizes, come in different types of boxes or cylinders or whatever it is. You want to make sure that you've really prioritized figuring out what your actual shipping costs are, working with a carrier that you can get some bulk rates through, and making sure that you're not losing too much money on shipping. Or you can actually pass through some of those shipping costs to the customers by increasing the price a little bit, especially if you're doing free shipping on your store. Make sure that you've tested out wherever your warehouse is that you're shipping this from, or if you're shipping it from your home. What does it cost for you to send a product across the US versus in your local state? The shipping costs are definitely going to vary there. So make sure you know what the roundabout average cost is, especially if you're doing flat rate shipping or do carrier calculated shipping. It's the exact shipping cost that it needs to be so that you're not losing money on shipping. Honestly, you really got to think this through or you're gonna lose money pretty quick. Okay, I had to talk about this at some point, and what better place than tip number 8, which is don't forget to pay your taxes. I know it's a scary word and everybody hates paying them. However, if you don't pay them, it's gonna be far more scary, my friend. When owning a business, there's a couple different types of taxes that you need to pay, like sales tax for your product and income tax off the money that you make from your business. Now, I cover all of this in a whole separate video and how to set it up and track it for your store. So check in the info cards above or the description below for more detailed information about paying taxes for your Shopify store. Just know that it's really important to prioritize actually putting aside money to pay that. Otherwise, you're gonna be hit with a really big tax bill and not enough money to pay it, and no one wants to be there. I actually made that mistake pretty early on in my business and it took years to pay it off. So don't do that. Just pay your taxes right the first time. Your second biggest priority with your e-commerce store is definitely the product photography. You need to make sure you have great quality photography because we buy with our eyes. But don't think that you have to go out and spend a fortune on this. You can buy great little kits like this on Amazon that make it really easy to take photos at home with just your smartphone because these actually have really great cameras on them. You can also buy a lot of other photography equipment for really inexpensive on Amazon as well so that you can upgrade your product photography. Also, I really highly recommend you try out some lifestyle photos as well and get models that look like your ideal customer to actually be showcasing the product as the lifestyle photo. For lifestyle photos for one of my newest Shopify stores selling children's books, I actually hired out a couple of lifestyle photographers on Fiverr and I had really great success. I'm super pleased with those photos. If you want to see a little bit more behind the scenes of that, I've already got another video on this YouTube channel that you can find somewhere up there. Whatever you do though, don't skip out on the product photography. And don't make it that hard. Again, you can get stuff on Amazon. Take your own photos. Next, let's talk about your store design. Store design is so important, and you want to make sure that you have a great quality store design so that your site looks reputable and people feel confident in purchasing the products from you and they know that they're going to actually be receiving them in the mail. However, don't procrastinate on launching your store because you're trying to make your store design just perfect. I've seen so many times people are messing with the font size or the logo size or all these little things that just aren't that important in the grand scheme. Your store design is going to constantly going through an ebb and flow as the seasons change and as your product images change, your messaging changes. It's always going to be changing. There's never going to be an absolute perfect design that you won't keep changing after that. So don't let it be a reason that you're not launching your store today. If you want to know a little bit more about design, I'll link in the description below a video that I've already done on picking the best Shopify theme for your store, as well as how to customize your Shopify theme in just 1 hour. So yeah, it's important, but don't let it hold you back.
Also, you've got to start running paid ads. I know, love them or hate them, everybody's got an opinion, but it's a crucial part of running an online store because running paid ads lets you test out different images and copy to see what works best and what resonates with your ideal customer. It's so important to know exactly what kind of images and copy are going to resonate the most and actually turn into sales, because that's the point at the end of the day, right? Just know that you're going to end up losing some money in the beginning, and that's okay. Again, it's just part of the process. But by losing money at the beginning to see exactly what works, you're going to be able to have more profitable ads as you continue advertising your business online. Also, make sure that you're starting an email newsletter list from day one. You want to make sure that you're starting a deeper connection than social media with your ideal customers, because with an email newsletter list, they're literally raising their hand and saying, yes, I want to hear from you. Don't take that for granted, and just make sure that you're always trying to stay in contact with them. Again, it can just be 1 email a month, but make sure that you're starting out.
If you're just getting started with your Shopify store and you need some additional help in setting everything up, or you want a step-by-step marketing plan of how to grow your Shopify store to 6 figures and beyond, then check out some of the links in the description below. Also, subscribe. First off, it's free. And secondly, it's great to be surrounded by a group of similar like-minded entrepreneurs who are all just working together to grow their businesses. And if you want to see more behind the scenes of my new Shopify store that I just launched in 2022, then check out the full playlist over here, or here, wherever it's at. You're gonna want to watch that next.